Tesla officially broke ground at its lithium refinery near Corpus Christi, Texas yesterday at an event where the company's CEO, Elon Musk, arrived in an accessorized Cybertruck. Making his appearance in the all-electric pickup truck fitted with a roof and tools rack which has never been seen before, adorned with the flags of the United States of America and the state of Texas, Elon Musk began the presentation.
Welcome, everyone. Let's see. It's glad to have you all here. We're incredibly excited to announce the biggest lithium refinery, one of the biggest lithium refineries in the world, and a location that will be able to, we expect, produce lithium for about 1 million vehicles and produce more battery-grade lithium than the rest of North American refining capacity combined. Tesla is incredibly appreciative for everything that the state of Texas has done and that the governor has done. Thank you. And we appreciate the support of the county and really all, at every level we've just gotten so much support. So I just want to say thank you all. So.
Yes, absolutely.
And as you can see, we've got the earth-moving equipment already here, so we're going to begin construction immediately. We're aiming to finish construction next year and then reach hopefully full production about a year later. This is extremely fast by normal standards. But that's how we do things. So, So as I mentioned earlier, the capability we're aiming for is approximately 1 million vehicles worth of battery-grade lithium. But the potential is there to expand beyond that number as needed. We intend to continue to use suppliers of lithium, so it's not that Tesla will do all of it. But we thought it's important to address what we think is, as we look ahead a few years, a fundamental choke point in the advancement of electric vehicles is the availability of battery-grade lithium. And lithium ore itself for mining is actually quite common. So lithium is actually a very common element on Earth. It's present basically in every country. So it's not that there's a shortage of lithium ore to mine, but there is a shortage of really heavy industry refinement of lithium to battery grade. And battery grade lithium actually has to be extremely precise, ultra pure, because if you have any impurities in the lithium, it causes degradation of the battery. So the purity requirements are extremely high. We've got a number of innovations that we think will be quite effective in the refining of lithium that haven't been done before. And maybe that's a good point to hand it over to Drew.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the process in particular, Turner, why don't you give a little rundown of what we're doing here?
Sure, yeah, happy to run through it. My name is Turner Caldwell. I lead our battery, raw material, and recycling efforts at Tesla. So speaking to some of the innovation that we're going to be pursuing on site, the conventional process, and I won't get too into the weeds, but it's a heavy sulfuric acid consumer, it's a heavy sodium hydroxide consumer, and as a result, the byproducts that are produced from that conventional process are challenging to manage. You end up with a lot of sodium sulfate that no one really wants. Here, what we're going to be using are much more inert reagents. We'll be consuming soda ash, sodium carbonate, very common industrial chemical. We'll be consuming lime, again, very common industrial chemical. And it's a much more direct route that consumes 20% less energy all in. It consumes reagents that are 60% less costly. And all in, the production cost is around 30% lower on a unit cost basis. But the real key thing here is that the byproduct that's produced is much more inert. It's basically a mix of sand and limestone. And the team here has been working really hard on finding beneficial use opportunities for that sand and limestone to try to feed that into construction materials so that we end up as a net environmentally very neutral site.
Yeah, and I think one of the great things about both working on this lithium refinery here in Corpus and the cathode facility that we have in Austin is that we see the end-to-end impacts of any decisions we make on the technical side, on how we design the battery cathode or specify the purity of the lithium so that we avoid unnecessary complication along that path. The whole dig it a ditch, fill it, and dig it again that tends to happen in the material supply chain. We are very intentionally sort of eating our own dog food, as sometimes they say, to make sure that we don't hold ourselves to standards that are unnecessary while still delivering an awesome end product and cutting out all the inefficient process steps along the way. In fact, we're looking at 30% fewer process steps in this refinery than a typical refinery while still achieving what we need to hit our cathode quality and performance targets.
So some of that is actually removing some of the purification steps that you would put in if you were a standalone lithium producer, because ultimately what matters is impurity levels in the final product, not in the intermediates that get handed from supplier to supplier.
Yeah, I mean, like the most efficient form of lithium to use is lithium hydroxide instead of lithium. We're getting a little technical here, but lithium hydroxide instead of lithium carbonate. But what a lot of current industry refining things will do is they'll convert it to lithium hydroxide, then convert it to lithium carbonate, then convert it back to lithium hydroxide. That's what we mean by dig the ditch, fill the ditch, dig it again.
Yeah.
So we want to stop that and just go straight to high purity lithium hydroxide.
And a couple of points about this location. It really is an ideal location for us to have this lithium refinery, both because of the strong community support, but also the talent base that's in Corpus Christi and in oil and gas refining actually is very applicable to what we're doing here. It's close to Austin. There's a really good deep water port, so we can bring in the spodumene, which is the rock input to this refinery from all over North America through an easy path, and it's also directly on rail. So we can also bring in the rock and send the outgoing product via rail. So truly an awesome site with a fantastic community support. Can't thank you enough, and really excited to get this project in motion.
Yeah, and we do want to emphasize this is a very sort of clean, Turner sort of alluded to it, but a very clean refinery. So it's not like there's no toxic emissions or anything. You could live right in the middle of the refinery and not suffer any ill effects. So a very clean operation.
Indeed. Yeah, and as we look forward into the future, obviously, day one, it's designed for this spodumene concentrate. It's from hard rock mines. But as we start to have recycled batteries coming back, the factory is designed to be feed flexible. And so we'll be actually processing lithium out of black mass, as well as from brine and clay operations that are also ramping up in North America. And so as we view this site as having a major focus on regionalizing the lithium supply chain, it's all about being feed flexible and taking advantage of all of those feeds, including manufacturing scrap and end-of-life batteries. Yep.
So a virtuous circle of battery materials in North America for North American factories. Really excited to set that agenda in motion, both in Austin and here in Corpus Christi today.
Great, sounds good. So what should we do next? Oh, yes.
Cool, yeah.
Dig the
shovelers.
I think we should break some ground.
Break some ground, great. Let's break ground. All right.